Welcome back to Factorio, building the Hyperbase. Okay, I'm starting to get excited. It was seeming to drag a little bit, some of these episodes, just building out this gigantic place, but we are finally getting somewhere. I have basically got this all running with the rocket control units. We do need a train in there, so I guess we'll stop by the main base and get an 820 train, 820. And we'll also do one other thing. We will go all the way up to where the solar is, because now that we have now that we're supplying it a massively greater amount of solar panels, this train still hasn't moved from basically its first delivery. We still have 10k. It was 12k, so it has gone down slightly. We're up to 13. We're in the 14th row, basically. Finished 13 rows. We're in the 14th row. But you see, the thing is, we're not even able to completely unload this train of its solar panels, let alone use all of this half the time. It has dropped a little, so we do occasionally. But the thing is, what I want to do is reduce the counter here. So instead of going to 3.6, I think I might make it 1.6, which will mean that everything that's driven off it needs to... so this one would have to be 1,000. 585. I think that's the only thing that's specifically... what's this value? Let's make that 1,599, and then I can change this one to 1,600. So that takes about 3 minutes off each cycle, which hopefully will speed things up. There is a reason I allow that wait. I just want the robots to have a bit of time to get back, although if we didn't even have it at all, we probably would function okay, because we do wait until all the robots are back. But this might stop sort of if the full robots return, but then one pops out briefly or something, to whatever. Anyway, being able to drive off the numeric values from the count is quite a useful way of getting pulses at slightly different times, so it does serve that purpose. But if this doesn't speed up the laying quite a bit, we may even resort to shortening it even more. In fact, we're probably at one. There you go. We just saw one pop in right there. So we've already benefited from our reduced cycle time. I need to add in the other thing, but we can wait a little bit on that. The restriction to only go to 20 rows, basically. With a bit of luck, we'll be getting there a lot faster than we did the first time through. At this point, let's grab our locomotives. Not quite sure how I ended up with 2 logistic robots, but never mind. This wood must be coming from the solar train. Doesn't look like any of it's going to hang around for very long. We can clear that off. Okay, back to the rocket control units. I should have looked into whether I had silos built. I think I do, but I guess we'll sort this out first. They're kind of busy up there now. So here's our legitimate rocket control units. Let's see how they're going. We're building at about 660 a minute, which I think is actually a little bit too slow. Not quite sure why we are a little slow, but we will worry about that in a bit. Okay, train time. and this one obviously needs to be fueled, so I guess we'll use the same sort of mechanism that we have over for this one that conveys the processing units over to the module area, which means that I basically want that, and I probably don't actually have the little bit of belt on me, so that could be slightly difficult, but we hopefully have the other things. We must have had the belt after all, yes. So that will get this train filled. This train doesn't have any destinations now. That is supposed to be the one that goes there, but that's okay. So these guys will fill that up. Actually, how far off are we from, well, we're a long way off from the fuel train coming through. Yeah, so we've got this narrow opening for all of these trains to get through. They probably only really need one route through though. And this train is a plastics train, isn't it? Yes. I do believe it is. Okay. And that's the LDS. Alright, let's just check on silos. I think at some point in time, in the dim distant past, no, that's oil refineries, that's silos. We actually have 9 sitting there, but I'm going to want to not build any more. 9 will be enough. Why 9 for 8,000 science a minute? Well, a fully beaconed silo takes 61 seconds to cycle. So that's using prod modules, and you should use prod modules. It doesn't help to use speed modules in the silos themselves because of the number of speed modules you have. That's just how the maths works. Check it yourself sometime if you like. So there's our 9 silos. This one probably, oh no, you don't need to do that. There's no need to fill up with more stuff and build another silo. Oh, we already have one anyway. 9 will be enough silos. Okay, so we have 9 silos. We need some beacons to surround them in. Let's go and see what we can do. I need a little bit of rail. I might put back a little bit of beacon and grab some rail so that I can line all of this up properly. Oops. Okay, that's 400 rail then. I probably am not going to need those just at the moment, so I suppose I could make it 500 rail, and let's not auto trash it. We don't need the chem plants right now either, but you never know when you will. I keep telling myself 2 of those are useless. 600 rail. How's the stone collection? 11k. I guess that's manageable. Alright. So, silo time. Still going to be a while before we do any launches, but we may as well see about getting these silos in place and other paraphernalia that goes with it. That's the LDS, I believe. Yes. So I'm thinking the silos can basically be out here. Actually back a bit even. Because satellite doesn't really matter, it We can come backwards if it has to. So roughly where we are now, I want to put down, does that have the train stop? It does. I'm going to want to put down some lengths like this one. Possibly directly in line with that, which would be roughly there. I have no idea if that's in line or not. So what are we going to do to see? Just run along. See roughly where this one connects through. There you go, that's perfectly into something. Perfectly connected with something. LDS. Wow, I didn't really expect it to work perfectly, but there you go. So we've perfectly lined up with the top LDS. There's 4 LDS, so it doesn't really matter that much, but I didn't want it to be just, you know, one off or something, because that is very off when it comes down to it. We might need to actually run all the way along to here. So that is LDS, RCU and fuel. 820s for all of them. Let's get our bots to work. That's why I got so many rail. Okay, now what I need is a pattern, but not that one. The pattern that I want is basically, it's not the steel smelting one, it is this in here. I'll get rid of that signal. So it's my hope that basically delineates where all of the carriages go. I'm not quite ready for beacons. I think what we want now is these guys, although we probably actually want maybe we want this, I'm not sure. 2, 3, 4. There's not actually a super high volume of bots that have to, or the usage of the bots is not a super high volume for moving these products. So we may not actually need as many roboports as I'm placing here. There. but we do need the bots to deliver to our silos, so we may as well why don't I get my faster legs? Here we go. Okay. I'm not. Whoops. Move just slightly and it wrecks these things, but never mind. I'm not exactly sure where, and oh no, I haven't thrown that away at least. Where the silos should start and stop. So we'll use those as guides. Obviously we need to get to about that point, I think. No, it needs to come one down. To about there. And then we can reach it and get a box just above it. And that's as far over as we can get, but I don't know if it makes any sense. I'll work it out soon. That row is the one that needs to come in, like so. So, that is basically what I want to copy for the moment. What's this? Oh, who knows? All these beautiful patterns that I can always copy again if I really need them. Probably should have moduled that first, but never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's like 3 inserters at the top end too far. Let's make a copy of all of this. And then see if we can balance it. Something like that, I think, if it were to be balanced properly. Yeah, good enough. So there's our silos. Now, how many requester boxes can we get down one side? We could get 9 if we needed to. The question is, these things, I'm not 100% sure if we need just 2 or 3 of these actually. We need enough so that it can cycle every minute. But it only loads up for a part of that minute, and it needs to load up with about 714, and it's doing about 27 a second from each one of these. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that will work if we have that many per though. And we need a satellite in and a space science out, and one of each should be sufficient. And and we are probably going to need some more of these guys. That connects them up. If I do that, they probably don't even need more of these guys. Maybe they do. I'm not exactly sure how the space science and the other one will work just yet. 9 by 9's 81, 11 by 9. So we basically need about 100 of the blues. Let's get 200 green inserters, because we need another 60 of the red. So let's make sure we have 100. Where is our... oh, and we better make sure we have at least, say, 50 of those. Let's go and get some more stuff. So yes, we're not actually making satellites yet, but it's not that much more to turn on. It's the biggest part of turning them on would actually be the getting the trains to it, the plastic and the sulfuric acid trains. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Is that everything? Maybe I will bump that up to 80 then, or even 90. How is this lot going? Not very fast. 13.3 or 13.4. Yeah. So the thing is, once we have some space science, I'm actually going to bring it back to this facility and advance science a bit, so we kind of need to turn some things off to be able to do that. And obviously we need to keep building out our facility so that our launch facility can support up to the 8 launches per minute that we actually require of it. Alright, so I wonder if I should kind of go 1, 2, 3 with the products. I think I might, just to help spread out the demand. So you would be, for example, rocket fuel in the amount of not 10, but let's at least have 200, 300 maybe. 300 maybe. So if you're rocket fuel, every third, well, that one's rocket fuel, that one's rocket fuel. So you should be low density structures, 300. And then so should you, and you should be rocket control units in the amount of 300. You, and you. Now just make sure they all have something that makes sense. Here we go. Oh, I put these over here because that's smart, isn't it? So we have 1, 2. The only thing you're ever really going to want is satellites. And you may as well have a blue. Now, power. goes there, it actually powers the whole thing. So that's not too bad. Okay. Let's slap that one down. And we'll probably need one extra substation just out here. Finish off this side. May as well get bots in. Start laying all this out, guys. And the other... oh. I don't actually have enough of those anymore. The other thing that I wanted to do was to... basically this. Looks like we underestimated on the passive supply chests, but that's fine. Probably underestimated on the blue inserters as well. Alright, let's also get 50 of those just to restock. And we're going to need a bunch of beacons, of course, and we are going to need the ability for trains to actually get here, of course, as well. Slap you in. Where's the... there it is. That connects up to LDS. And I think this is the LDS return, so come on. Yep. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Yep, it is. So I might just make that a big loop. We'll work out exactly how we feed the other ones later, but yes, we may as well just have this connect up here. And in that case, we better get rid of a bit more of this nonsense. Alright, the wood's taking up so much space that we need this to to use up the rail. Oh, we really do need to use up the rail. Can't get the last few bots in. Okay, LDS. That's not quite what we wanted. Let's just pop down to this craft, which I think has empty storage, not very much storage, but a tiny bit of empty storage, and we will make the most of it. Alright, take some wood then. No, it does not have any room at all. Okay. In that case, let's just do that. Right. Obviously, I didn't mean to pick up piece that was doing that. Okay, so this is obviously silo LDS. There you go. And the LDS train we have dealt with that. Okay. The LDS train needs to come up here and go to the silo. So, where is it at the moment? It's down here doing something that's pretty useless. What have we got? LDS to satellites, LDS unload. Okay. What I need, basically, is a reading from here. And this might end up being the last thing that we do, but this will be, I guess, a strategy we use in more than one case. Hopefully that's far enough to get to here. So read this thing for network contents. Now, LDS needs to be a lot less than 28k. We will be going through this building satellites. Satellites need, how many is it? 100, 800 a minute. If we have, say, more than 3200, we don't need a train here. So enable, disable, enabled condition is that is less than 3200. Okay, now you can go back to the station, load up, and I was slightly premature in letting it go, because the other part of what I want it to do is park up here, and we will add to this the silo LDS. Silo LDS until inventory empty. Oh, wait a sec. Are you? Oh, you're full. Wow. And silo LDS is going to need the same sort of thing, but we need to get power over there. So I guess we will run, whoops, not those, these ones. We'll run power from here. There we go, and we will do something very similar over here. We will have this guy come through to here. Now, we need about 714, I think it is. Basically 1,000 divided by 1.4, 714 times 8, 5,700 a minute, let's times 4. We need at least, well, 23,000, say, is the tipping point. So enable, disable, if LDS is less than 23,000. This is where we really need them. 23,000. What do we have at the moment? We've got 16,000. How full are these things? 16,000. They can take 480 each. Let me just do a quick calc on 23,000 divided by 480. That's 47, we have 60, so we do have enough capacity to, there you go, it should be disabled now. And that will mean that the train will just go back and wait here because it's got nowhere to go. Okay, that is good, that's a good start. Next episode, we will, well, I'll continue to finish this bit off. I'll get some bots down here. I don't know how many. We don't need that many. Probably just 200 or 300. We will get rocket control units to connect up. Unless I have mucked up where these guys are, which is entirely possible. Yes, it is entirely possible. So we're going to have to move all of these. And we'll get fuel connected up, and maybe even look at finishing off satellites. So we're getting very close to launches, guys. Just one thing before we finish though, there's always one thing. There you go, we can get all of the satellites in one frame, so that's awesome. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing this fire off. Hope you guys are too. See you next time. Bye bye for now.